Okay, so page 90. There are two stretch checks on the page. We'll be dividing those and conquering. Okay, so let me share my screen. The first one is make sure you have your books with you and something and your thinking caps. I guess you don't need something to write with. Everything else will be on the computer. So the first thing I want to go over is or are the learning targets. Okay, so this is for the first one. Once you open to page 190, you'll see the first stretch text is nonfiction, titled Extra Lives Why Video Games Matter. So there's an excerpt from that nonfiction text. I can cite evidence to support my written analysis. I can determine the central idea and details of a text and provide an objective summary. Today we will read a complex text about why video games matter. We will read for detail and take a closer look at the reading. Okay. The questions that you'll be asked. Okay, so these are your note-taking page. You will need to open this, and actually that's in there. So go into Canvas and complete the following assignment. Page 90, Extra Lives, why video games matter. And it's just a note sheet, nothing crazy. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so the questions before I read. First one, the first sentence of this text states the key idea in your own words. What is the key idea? What is the real challenge for video game designers? What frustrates Labanta? Reread the third sentence, the one that starts, with aside from convincing quaffs, what two things does the author say that video game characters need? And which of these needs does the second paragraph elaborate on? Okay. So let me read to you. So I have it up here, but you should have it in your book. The three words before I get going that you'll see in this excerpt are fidelity, corresponded, and recognition. Fidelity is faithfulness.
I can't get the answer to that on Apple Watch.
Corresponded means related, and recognition, and Watch wanted to help you too, the act of knowing or seeing something, like we recognize. So recognition is the noun form. Okay, so let me read this to you. So Extra Lives, Why Video Games Matter by Tom Bissell. Labanta immediately admitted that realistic humans are one of the most difficult things for game designers to create. A real challenge, he said, is hair. Aside from convincing quaffs, two things video game characters generally need are what he called model fidelity. Do they resemble real people? And motion fidelity. Do they move like real people? Neither, he said, necessarily corresponded to straight realism. One thing that routinely frustrated him, Labanta said, was when a video game character walks into a wall and persists stupidly in walking. Allowing the character to react to the wall would be the result of recognition mechanic, whereby the character is able to sense his surrounding with no input from the player. Of course, this would not be intelligence, but awareness. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and into that doc, your assignment, and go ahead and take notes. So over on this side, what's the key idea? And do the same for the other questions. Go ahead and type in your answers. Make sure you submit them at the end, and then you'll be all set.